Fox News alert: the Senate just voting to limit President Trump's authority to use military action against Iran. It passed with some support from Republicans. The House could take it up later this month, but either way that vote goes, President Trump is expected to veto it. And it's important to note that if he does, Congress does not have the supermajority to override a veto on this one. Let's bring in Senator Mike Lee, who just voted in favor of the War Powers Resolution, and give you a chance to explain why.
I voted for this today because this is consistent with a pattern that I've established ever since I've been in the Senate over the last 9 years. I did this under President Obama, and I'll continue to do this under every president who serves in office while I'm in the Senate, where we as a Congress need to reclaim the power to declare war. Over the course of many decades, we've seen Congress essentially forfeiting its authority to declare war and waiting for presidents to act. We believe that it's more appropriate whenever we're going to put U.S. lives on the line. We think that Congress needs to authorize that in the form of a declaration of war. This is a precedent that stretches all the way back to George Washington, when Americans were attacked by the Miami and Wabash Indians, and President Washington identified the difference between a defensive response and an offensive attack. The latter requires congressional authorization. That's all we're requiring here.
This won't surprise you that the president disagrees. This is a tweet from him earlier today saying that it is very important for our country's security that the U.S. Senate does not vote for the Iran War Powers Resolution. We are doing very well with Iran, and this is not the time to show weakness. Americans overwhelmingly support our attack on terrorist Soleimani. If my hands are tied, Iran would have a field day. Sends a very bad signal. The Democrats are only doing this as an attempt to embarrass the Republican Party. Don't let it happen. And yet there were 8 Republicans that voted to support this War Powers Resolution. And I wonder if you are persuaded at all by his argument that it shows weakness if the president then has to go to Congress and say, can we do something because we really want to protect the country? I mean, I see where you're coming from, but he's also saying I'm the chief executive and I have to be able to have this flexibility.
Yeah, I understand that, and I respect his use of his executive power and his power under Article 2 of the Constitution as Commander-in-Chief. In fact, he's wielded that power far more responsibly than any other president in my lifetime. I'm grateful for that. Now, I would completely agree with him if this in any way, shape, or form eroded his inherent authority as Commander-in-Chief under Article 2. It doesn't. All this one is saying is that if we're going to undertake an offensive action, not in response to an attack, in order to repel an actual or imminent attack, but an offensive action, that would require congressional authorization.
So would you put the Soleimani attack in an offensive or a defensive category?
It was defensive. It was in response to an attack that had just occurred on U.S. facilities in Iraq. And it was also in anticipation of other attacks that had been planned that were going to be carried out in the days following the Soleimani attack.
So I
defended that at the time, and I defend it wholeheartedly.
So the purpose of this resolution then would be what?
Prospectively. It's for what comes next. What do we do next? It's one thing to respond at the time that happens, as President Trump did when he killed General Soleimani, and we're all better off for it, and I praise his action, and I still praise that today. But moving forward, we need to know what we're going to do, whether we're going to take offensive measures against Iran. All this resolution today said, which I was pleased to co-sponsor and vote for, is that if we're going to go to war with Iran, if we're going to undertake offensive action against Iran, that needs to be declared by Congress, because that's what the Constitution requires.
It's a fascinating issue overall in terms of the Congress over the decades giving away some of its power to the executive, and I'd love to have you back to talk about that more in full at some point. Senator Lee, thank you.